Okay, what is up guys? Today we are going to be talking about doxing and cyberbullying. I'll explain it to you, but I don't think there's a point because I think you know what they are anyway, but just for the sake of explanation, doxing is basically when someone, it's similar to hacking, but it's not really hacking. Doxing is when somebody exposes your anonymity on the internet, which you may use to express certain political beliefs, and then uses it to expose your identity to the public. So if you do have very unpopular views, and your identity is then exposed to the public, it basically means the public goes in a witch hunt and says, oh, you've said this, you're a Nazi, or you're a terrorist sympathizer, or you're a communist, extreme radical communist, so therefore I'm not going to employ you, or we can't. It's basically used as a weapon to make people's lives misery. It's designed to shut them up. It's designed to stop them from having any form of freedom of speech. It's designed to isolate them. It's a threat to democracy. So let's just say you are a Nazi on Twitter. Let's say you have some National Socialist leniencies on Twitter, which you have the right to have in this country. In the UK, I sort of utter when I say that, but you still have that sort of freedom to be a National Socialist on Twitter. However, let's say your profile picture is an avatar, and you don't really post your public life on it, on your political beliefs, and then somebody, let's just say you did post a picture of yourself like you forgot about like 5 years ago, and then there's some like desperate stalker, creepy stalker try to like reveal your identity just so they can make your life a misery, and so everyone can go on a witch hunt and just say, oh, he's a Nazi, oh, it's okay to bully him now because he's a Nazi, haha, we got you, brownie point, you know? I just think it's stupid, I just think it's dumb, I think it scares people into having freedom of belief and expression. It's already a threat to democracy if people have to hide behind an avatar anyway. That's why I have, as much as I hate Lauren Southern, somebody as right-wing as her, I have huge respect for her actually going out and revealing her anonymity to express her unpopular views to the left. And of course I do respect somebody like Anita Sarkeesian on the left, who reveals her identity to express her feminism to the right, in which she gets harassed too in the comments about it. So I have huge respect for those people because they're putting their privacy on the line, they're putting their anonymity on the line for the sake of freedom of speech and democracy. So I have huge respect for these people, you know, and of course, if you're part of the, if you're gonna be like this young, trendy, hip, guy with already the opinions the elite want you to have, you're not giving up your anonymity for the greater good. You're sort of expressing the mainstream culture there. You're not doing anything radical or dangerous or extreme. So yeah, the guy was thinking of like David Hogg. Like you're literally a pod of the elite. You're not cool. You're not trendy. You're not this activist who's doing something dangerous and being perceived as edgy and cool and hip. You're expressing the mainstream culture, because pretty much everyone in the Western world, apart from America, is anti-gun and has anti-gun legislation. You're not saying anything out there or imaginative, so just shut up. Please go away. you're already forgotten about. So yeah, shut up. But yeah, that's just my views on doxing, and just a quick word on cyberbullying. And obviously doxing does lead to cyberbullying because both in the public sphere and on the internet sphere, and a lot of people say, oh, cyberbullying's not as bad as physical bullying, at least you're not getting beat up. Well, studies have shown that more bullying victims have committed suicide over verbal bullying than over physical bullying. And what is social media? Text, verbal. So that's to counter that point. And to the people who say, oh, you're getting cyberbullied, just don't go on the internet then, just don't log on to your Facebook and see what they're saying about you then. I'm sorry, but that sort of sounds like a surrender. That sounds like you're letting them win. That's a bit like saying, like, you're getting bullied at school and then you're just saying, oh, just don't go to school then, don't get educated. Not that I believe in the education system, it would actually do them a favour. But, yeah, you know what, you get the concept. If you're getting kicked around in school and then you would expect your parent to say, well, don't show up to school then. It does sound like a surrender. So when you say to people, oh, don't go look at your laptop then, don't open your laptop up and see what the bullies are saying. No, that's a surrender. You have to fight these people. There has to be a counterculture. The whole point of free speech is to protect unpopular speech. And by free speech, I actually mean it. I don't mean my free speech and my democracy like neocon Bush using a false threat of, they're coming after my democracy, so we have to go and bomb and kill. I'm not going on about the neocon democracy. I'm going on about the actual constitutional founding father democracy, you know. Although some say it may not be a democracy because they owned slaves, but 17th century, just the time. But you get what I am saying here. And I'm not doing the alt-right mud democracy as an excuse to hate women and gays and minorities either. I just believe, I'm just a centrist and a classical liberal here when it comes to democracy and free speech. So, yeah. And Scotland, I live in Scotland. Scotland are quite notorious for their witch hunts. They're ganging up, you know, their witch hunts, you know, so you have to be very careful in Scotland, in this country, in the UK, because it's venturing towards Orwellianism. I can't lie. There was no point in Brexit if we were just going to become as authoritarian as the EU anyway, so, yeah, so, like I said, cyberbullying, it's not cool, like, people have, because if we don't, then what will the internet become? It will just become so boring. It will just become a place, it won't become a place of the free marketplace of ideas, but instead, just a place of, you know, the whole basic selfies and pictures of the gym and the pictures of having dinner. And, you know, all that basic bitch stuff on Instagram. The entire platform will just become like that. And it'll just become boring. It'll just become shit. People will just venture away from it. And obviously, what you're going to do about alternative media that's coming out, that's starting to become big now. People will just run out of these. These platforms are going to die anyway, because social media is in bed with mainstream media, unfortunately. So, and obviously, not only do they go after people by posting their addresses and their identities and in the towns in which they live in, or where they're employed at, but they also try to cut their funding and their money too, you know, the whole apocalypse thing, cutting people's ads. So it's not just that, but they're literally trying to cut you financially as well. They're literally trying to make you go starving, you know, it's all to prevent journalism, so you go back into mainstream media and back into Silicon Valley, you know, believing all their propaganda, all their mainstream bullshit. So, but, and they use their shock troops to do it for them. All these useless Instagram basic bitches to gang hunt people, witch hunt people, cut them off financially. It's all to scare people off from becoming journalists. And the journalists themselves are in it because what's the point in going to college for a 4-year degree to become a journalist if some amateur is just opening up their webcam, expressing their free speech and getting way more views than you are on lamestream media with your little mic reporting about small town incidents, you know? So, that's just my thoughts on that. Peace out. See you in the next one. Peace.